All right, my name is Randy Dillon, and the topic of discussion is to look back at my travels over my lifetime, I guess. The first country I visited outside the US was Japan, and that was because I got a job teaching English. But when I got to the Tokyo airport, I cashed in the ticket, and instead of coming back to the States, I went the other way around and went traveling for about 3 or 4 months. The biggest culture shock was going to India. And I'll never forget the howling in the night. I thought I'd gone to hell in Calcutta. And traveling around India, I saw some great sights, but it seemed like anywhere we went, if we didn't go on a train, we went on a super deluxe video bus. And it was always like 17 hours long, whether you went 50 miles or 250 miles. Okay, so getting on a bus in the middle of the afternoon, like now, and riding that darn bus with, I know there's Bollywood. I can take a little bit of Bollywood, but Bollywood all through the night. And I mean, just riding through the Indian desert, it was just some of the crazy stuff. I mean, we rode one night. We found out that the best way to ride to deal with that would be after a couple of three of those video rides, through the night. We kind of knew, okay, the bus, get ready for it. You wanted an aisle seat. And in order to get an aisle seat, I'd pay a couple of Indian kids, and they would jump through the windows and they would hold the seats for us. So Kelly and I was my friend. We get in there and we get our aisle seat because we wanted a place at least to stretch our legs out down the aisle. And I'll never forget that there was a woman kind of wrapped up in this old sari. It was like a big old blanket, it looked like, and she was just so frail looking. And so we'd sit there, and when you see a stranger and you're sitting by them, you kind of nod, although you couldn't speak the language, and she would always take her sari and hide herself. We rode that damn bus through the night. And, there's goats on the top of the bus, which actually I think is actually a better place to ride. The goats looked a lot better than we did when we got into town the next morning or wherever we got to. But so we get off, and we had to get our packs. We had these huge backpacks, and they were on top of the bus. And so we were waiting for our backpacks to come down. So we're standing out the next morning outside the bus waiting for our backpack, and all of a sudden there's this hullabaloo. Come to find out that woman that we'd been sitting by on the bus, or at least Kelly was, they found her dead. She had died in the night. That woman did. I don't know what had happened. I think she might have been trying to go back to her village. She obviously, I think it was something, she was going to go. We didn't know that. It wasn't because we were sitting next to her or anything like that. But, just crazy stuff. Stuff I couldn't understand. It was just such a challenge. I had bought like a blanket myself because we were traveling around for a few months. And then the very last day, my last days I'd gotten into Calcutta. By that time, I'd left Kelly because we went trekking in Nepal. We were in India for 3 months, and then we went to Nepal, and we went trekking the Annapurna, which is the circuit in the Himalayas. I left Kelly in Calcutta, and then I went on down to... No, I left her in Nepal, and I went down to Calcutta. And Jillian, I got off the train, and it was hot then. I knew I didn't need that blanket anymore, so a blanket I'd have for 3 or 4 months in my backpack. And I came into the train station. I'm walking down the track, and I see this kid. And I took the blanket and I tossed it to the kid, thinking I was doing a good thing. Out of nowhere, there were all these other kids, street urchins, that came and fought this kid over the blanket. He was fighting for it. He fell off the tracks and was hit and killed by a train. It wasn't my fault. It was just so shocking. I just kept walking. There was nothing I could do. India was the most challenging. I would say that you just got to give up on... there's things that you do, but realize that not everybody is going to have the same routine. Don't let that upset you. And that's my biggest piece of advice. I've got other pieces of advice too, but if they have a free breakfast at the hotel, eat the free breakfast.